Dan Williams, Survive Outdoors. If you're new to the channel, we do wilderness medicine videos, what you have to do to be safe in the outdoors, signs and symptoms of illnesses, some gear reviews. If you like that, please subscribe. You've heard that before on YouTube. It does help me out a lot. Would really appreciate it. Is Lyme disease curable? That's what we're going to target today. A lot of questions are asked on that. I have other videos on Lyme disease. I'll attach some of those at the end that get more specific. So yes, it is in the vast majority of cases. However, there are some caveats. So let's talk about that briefly. Stage 1 Lyme disease. You get bit by a tick, anywhere from 1 to 3, 4 weeks, you start getting symptoms. Now, in that stage, your symptoms can be tired, fatigue. You may or may not have a fever, very unusual. I've had maybe 1 or 2 cases, but it looks like a influenza syndrome without the respiratory issues. No cough, no respiratory issues at all. Muscle aches wiped out. Stage 1. Stage 2, in stage 1 also about 60%, not 80. The CDC is touting 80%, but all in the wilderness medical literature, it's anywhere from 60 to 70% of individuals will show erythema migrans, that bullseye rash like this one. So that's in about 60% of the cases. Now stage 2 is basically, it can be some overlap. So there you get severe joint pain, you can get Bell's palsy, and that can be anywhere from 2 weeks in all the way up to 4 months. And the treatment is still the same. So in stage 1, stage 2, treatment is going to be antibiotics, the cyclines, doxycycline, minocycline, tetracycline. If you're allergic to those, no worries. You can do amoxicillin, and there are other antibiotics that treat this very, very well. Stage 3, that's the bad one. A lot of times it's missed early on. And stage 3, you can get neurological impairment, cardiac impairment, heart arrhythmias, and that's obviously clearly not good. Now there is something called PTLDS, post-treatment Lyme Disease Syndrome. And about 1 in 100 individuals that are treated will get post-treatment Lyme Disease Syndrome, where these symptoms will become chronic. And those are the ones, clearly oh my gosh, I mean, these can be devastating, but they make the internet. And then all of a sudden, Lyme disease is this big, scary thing. It is concerning. It is something you have to pay attention to. But try, when you read on the internet, try to decipher between something that is dramatic and common sense. I've treated tons of Lyme disease cases. This year alone, probably over 6 cases of Lyme disease. And yes, there are other tick illnesses that can accompany it, which we've talked about before, and I'm going to put that at the end of the video. So Lyme disease is spread by the black-legged deer tick, right here, and that is the culprit. So, is Lyme disease curable? Absolutely. 90-95% of the time. It's only in those very, very, very few cases where you can get lingering symptoms and it can plague you for a while. And a lot of providers, PAs, NPs, and MDs, will actually, they won't believe the patient. They won't believe the PTLDS, the post-treatment Lyme disease syndrome. They'll think, oh my gosh, this person's histrionic, they're making it up. So there's a lot of colleagues out there of mine that just really they don't believe that it continues, but it is a very real entity. It does happen. You need a very good infectious disease person. Someone's going to do their due diligence to dig in and find the cause of that. Important to note, blood tests on Lyme disease, you really should, takes about 3 weeks to develop antibodies. If you get bit by a tick and you go in 5 days and you want blood tests, it's going to be negative. So you have to wait a few weeks for the antibodies to develop to get a positive test. So is it curable? Absolutely. Guys, keep your eyes on the rise and your face to the wind. I'll see you next time. Take care.